This is our league, and this is your league. Broadcasting from the 55-yard line in Japan to the shores of the Great White North and everywhere around the world on Gridiron America Radio and the Sports History Network.
Everybody, welcome back to Gridiron America. Today it is David, Mike, and me. This is Greg. For those of you who are listening on the audio side, not on the video side, we're a couple days late only because all of us had stuff going on here. But it is Wednesday here in Japan. It is Tuesday night there in America, and we had a lot of football happening over the weekend. Not only CFL football, but we had indoor football, which is what we're going to lead off with. And we had Hall of Fame induction. And then since the last time, we also had the first NFL preseason game. So we got a lot to cover in a short time. So guys, before we hit the record button, but before I start even rambling on, how are you guys doing?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Doing good. Yep. Dave's up there. We'll be talking Buffalo Bills football. I mean, this is going to be a packed show. So before we hit the record button, Dave was filling us in about what's going on in Buffalo and the new stadium and the whole mess that is starting to become, at least in the media. So, but guys, like I said, we had a lot going on. Let us start off. Honestly, let's start off with indoor football because we had the indoor. Okay, so we had the arena. Was it which league? Because I'm confused. There's so many damn leagues out, indoor leagues.
Arena Football 1.
Okay, which was the original Arena Football League.
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken. Damn. Yeah. So it was the Nashville Cats against the Albany Firebirds. Tyler Kulka, former X-League star over here in Japan. So, guys, you fill me in on what happened. I only watched the first half, so I can't speak to what happened for the rest of the game. Mike, you watched it, right?
I watched some of it, mostly highlights, but definitely toward the end. It's your classic traditional Arena Football League game that I think we all grew up loving in the 90s. Lots of high scoring, lots of back and forth, all the way to the literal last play of the game. So I think that's the way football is meant to be played. And it was definitely exciting. And, I think MVP of the game was former X-League quarterback Tyler Kulka, who also right before the game he got interviewed by John Gruden. So he's making headlines. He's drawing a lot of attention to where now John Gruden's interviewing him. So it's definitely exciting.
John Gruden's bored and needs a job is really the only reason why he's involved with any of the minor league and talking about any of the leagues, and he's getting paid to do it too. So, and Dave, did you catch any of the game?
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a very entertaining game. They sold out F&M Bank Arena in Nashville. They had a little over 4,000 people, which place looked busy. Place was loud. Definitely, the fans were definitely into it. I mean, Nashville got out to a 23-2 start in the first quarter, and basically, it was one of those arena games where it seems like I'm a broken record. Whoever had the ball last was going to have a chance to win, and it happened like that. But both teams up and down the field, probably the two best quarterbacks in the league were playing with Sam Castronova, who actually is from Buffalo, and Kulka from Nashville. And it was funny. I don't know if you guys knew that Joshua Kulka is the Albany backup. So both brothers were playing in the championship game. I thought that was an interesting thing. So
Kulkamania was running wild.
It sure was.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, if you didn't watch the game, I would go back and watch it. It was entertaining. It was fast moving. Both teams showed why they're the best two teams in that league by far. They showed it, and Nashville, I think it was 3 weeks ago, went and beat Albany in Albany during the regular season. So it was definitely a whoever won that game was going to host the final, and Nashville did, and ended up working out for them.
And so we had that game. Now, do we have any? Are we done with indoor football season? Or we still got stuff on the left? For the other leagues. You guys know off the top of your head?
I think the IFL is running into their championship, right, Dave?
Yes. It's Sunday, 7:30, and it's Arizona versus Green Bay. That's their championship game. Yeah, the Rattlers have been around.
Oh, forever, man.
30 plus years now. Like
over that. 36 maybe?
Yeah, it's approaching 40. I didn't want to say 40, but it's approaching. They've been around.
I remember when they launched back, way back. This was 1992. They launched in 1992. And I just remember when I was going through the airport in Phoenix, all the new Rattlers merchandise was coming out. And so this was back. It outsold. Back then it was the Phoenix Cardinals and outsold all the Cardinals gear. But yeah, I remember when that team came along, and now, shit, man, there's still. The Albany Firebirds have been moved and rebranded, but the Rattlers have always been in business.
Yeah,
always been. They are the one of the last original teams from the Arena Football League still standing.
I still remember Cedric Bonner.
And Danny White was the coach, right?
Danny White was the coach forever because he played at ASU. He was a star at Arizona State. So we got that championship coming up. And for those who are listening, maybe in Japan, Phil, everybody, if you guys can, Phil, how many indoor leagues do we have in America right now? Dave's thinking about it. So that tells you just how many there are.
I want to say there's at least, I would say, between 8 and 10, to be honest with you. Now,
really, that many?
Credible, probably 4. The top 3 would be the National Arena League, AFL 1, and IFL, and then you have those are the top 3. And then you have so many regional ones and smaller ones that are popping up all the time, changing their names all the time. I can't remember. I know the Columbus Lions used to play in the NAL, and they dropped down to like the next tier down. It's like the All-American Indoor League. There are so many, and they're changing names all the time.
We're gonna at some point here, and it could be next week. I gotta talk, but I gotta bring the guys from the world of football on to talk all things indoor football because, I've just lost count. They've just like exploded, and then of course you go on social media, and then you see a new one popping up, or you got guys who the Supreme Football Alliance or something. There's a guy out there who's pushing hard with his social media. Excuse me. And, but how this is going to be different. I'm like, I understand the allure of wanting to start a league and have a team, but man, these guys who run a lot of these leagues, they're writing checks that their bank account can't cash.
Or they're playing on basketball courts with green carpet.
Yeah.
And that's the league that Tim Brown, former Raider and Irish, he's the commissioner of that one. I can't think of the name of that, where they play in like these oversized facilities and just throw turf down, and then some of it has sideboards up, some doesn't, and then you see just the only people there are the people around, basically on little high top tables watching the game. So.
Yeah. To me, arena football, indoor football had its high point back in the, was it the early 2000s? No, it was, the early 2000s after the XFL went away when it was on NBC. That was that was the moment that, I mean, indoor football could have been big because they had the national exposure, they had the game of the week, they had filled stadiums. I know
They had a video game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was that moment in time. I mean, indoor football is awesome to watch.
They were all owned by NFL teams, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
You had a couple of other ones, like you had John Bon Jovi owning a team, but they were all.
Jerry Jones owned a team.
Yeah, well, they were all. With Vince Neil they had the Vegas team. So, but it was well funded, and that's where the NFL pulled back, and then they basically like 2008 they took the year off and they never recovered. It's just how it just never. I mean, I thought David Baker was a great commissioner for that. He drove that.
Yeah.
He steered that car very well, and it just lost steam. And then as the interest financially waned, so did the interest in everything else with it.
Yeah, that's about the time we had the economic crisis too. So
the Chicago team went away. I went to several Rush games and during that, before that, and it was going up to the old Rosemont Horizon, watching the Rush play. I think I remember they played New Orleans. I think Grand Rapids. I forget who the third team was.
The Voodoo.
And literally had seats. I mean, I was on the 25-yard line, one row up. So those guys were falling in the front. I mean, they were right at. Literally, you get a linebacker in your lap. So,
and Mike's Town took my team.
Buffalo / Columbus Destroyers. That's right.
Yeah. But the league only, kept saying, this is the league that Kurt Warner came from. But he was the only star ever to come out of that. So maybe
of that magnitude, yes.
Yeah. So maybe Tyler Kolko will be the next big star coming out of it. I mean, I'd be curious to see if he ever came back to Japan, because Obik right now has got, Obik is the team to beat now in the X League, at least coming out of the spring season. And their quarterback, Obik's quarterback's doing a pretty good job leading that team now. But I could definitely, who knows? You just never know when a team's going to come calling, especially, people know who Tyler is in professional football. So it's just a question of maybe finding the right fit. Cause I'm sure he doesn't hope to play forever in arena football. He wants to make the jump elsewhere. So maybe the UFL will be the next big step. So
it just goes to show you when you're in the right system.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah. Well, Tom Brady has admitted, he goes, if I didn't get drafted by the Patriots, it would have been any other team. He wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. It's very likely. Yeah, it's all about timing and the system and finding the right fit.
And in the last 20 years, a lot of Arizona Cardinals quarterbacks say the same thing.
Jesus.
Your former quarterback just got named the starter in Minnesota.
Yeah, that ain't gonna last for long. No.
The options weren't that good. It wasn't like they had a strong list of options.
Listen, Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew are way better options in Arizona than Kyler Murray ever was. But that whole organization, we'll see what happens. They could surprise this year, but it's just, you never know. And like I said, the Bears are another good example. I don't know. It's right now, because I know we're getting close to talking fantasy football and drafting and everything. But now, even on the fantasy football side, nobody. I don't know what. I'm doing my mock drafts and everything, and I'm like, shit, I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing I have the 11th pick in my main league draft, because then at least there I can kind of sort it out and going, okay, all right, well, maybe take some of the guys off the board that sound great on paper, but an injury is going to happen at some point and blow every.
You don't want to be that guy with the number 3 pick, who then that player goes down with a season-ending injury, and you're done, because by the time that comes back around, you're done.
I had the number 1 pick last year. I took Jamar Chase. Yeah, needless to say. And then there was several years before that, I had picked up Christian McCaffrey. When that year he got hurt, I think he was like the 4th game into the season. So yeah. So all right, well, hey, moving on here. Let's talk some CFL, and then we'll wrap up everything talking about all things Buffalo. So we had the Thursday night game. We had Toronto at Calgary, and in this game, I remember us trying to, coming up with, we were picking the games. I picked Calgary to win. Well, they almost won. Toronto won. So, thoughts, guys, on this game?
Man, Vernon Adams. He plays the game on a wire, and when he's hot, he's hot. And he threw two picks this game. Nothing really much, other than that 159 yards. So, bad play from him was definitely the difference. I think the defense made the game look closer than it really was, but ultimately Calgary was, in the second half specifically, they were very inconsistent. And on the other,
they were sputtering along.
They were, and on the other side with Toronto, I mean, Chad Kelly threw 4 picks, but again, I think special teams and defense, they saved Chad Kelly's ass. So all around, it was not the prettiest game for either team, but Toronto came out on top, mostly due to the mental errors from Calgary.
Yeah. Dave?
It was by far Toronto's best defensive showing of the season, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that helped with Calgary definitely wasn't sharp, but you take what you get and you go with it. And at the end of the day, I thought Toronto's offense, especially after how it's been going this year, even with the 4 interceptions, you can see Chad Kelly was pushing the ball, feeling comfortable, a couple of mistakes, but at the end of the day, I thought it showed how good their offense is. They still had over 100 yards rushing. I thought they did a pretty good job mixing it up, but they definitely on a defensive side, whether it's Calgary wasn't playing their A game, the combination of the scheme that Toronto played and the execution that Calgary didn't have led them to a game that, honestly, anytime you throw 4 picks, you probably shouldn't win that game. And they had a chance to win it and did, and gave a great game to the for the first time at BMO Field for the fans. So at the end of the day, it's a win that Toronto definitely needed. They got, and it didn't look like anybody lost anybody. It wasn't any like, yes, Calgary lost. It was a tough week. They spent the whole week in Toronto as well. They never went back, but I think Calgary is going to take this as an opportunity to need to clean it up a little bit, a little crisper, and move on and just chalk it up to, you know what, it happens. Let's move on.
Yeah, Mike.
I think Dave said it best.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just, I mean, it keeps the talk of crossover alive, because I'm looking at the standings now, and I know maybe it's too early to talk playoffs, but again, it goes back to the East. The CFL East is always the weaker division, and we're always wondering who's going to. You never talk about anybody in the East taking the crossover spot in the West. That we never talk about.
I mean,
and with
Greg,
go ahead.
To be honest, 12 weeks ago, no one had Ottawa for the season. I mean, if we were looking back,
Right.
I think there was an outside chance. It's definitely. I mean, Harrison Frost didn't look bad this week, but it looks like it's almost a certainty that there will be, based on injuries and just the Ottawa collapse.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of Ottawa, let's move to the next game. Ottawa did not disappoint. The Rough Riders, 42-20, beating them pretty soundly. I don't even. Do we even need to talk about this game at this point? Because the score kind of.
It was a game till the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Ottawa kept it very close, and once again, just like in past weeks, the fourth quarter, if they can play 3-quarter football, they'll probably be 2-6 instead of 0-8.
Yeah, I was going to say, but they've never played 4-quarter football.
Not this year, no.
They can't figure it out. And
they only got 6 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It was, Saskatchewan, poured it on in the fourth quarter.
It was 21-14 going into the fourth quarter. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't
right. It wasn't a blowout.
No. But you can tell. At the end of the day, Ottawa their roster is just not good enough, and that's just their defense.
They only had 10 yards rushing.
It's
12 yards. My bad.
It's just tough it's tough when you're always playing from behind, and that's what they've done all this year. And they don't have. Greg Bell wasn't gonna be a world breaker to start off with, so it was one of those things where it's going to be by a committee, and they're hoping that Jake Mayer could stretch the field to turn the committee into a plus. And unfortunately, they cut Eugene Lewis. Like they're not helping themselves by putting out 11 men on the offensive side of the ball. That's going to give them a clear-cut advantage or the opportunity to consistently move the ball. They're playing at a disadvantage, and everyone knew that Dinwiddie was going to tear this thing down to rebuild it. But I don't think anybody had on their bingo card going into the season how much he did tear it down.
Yeah. Mike, thoughts?
Yeah. So just a few notes here. They were up in the third quarter, 14-13. And then they were outscored 28-7. Jake Mayer didn't have I wouldn't say a bad game, but when your leading rusher has 8 yards, but moreover for Ottawa, their run defense was atrocious. Tommy can't stop me, Steven. Second week in a row I've said that. 3 touchdowns. Trevor had over 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. I will say for Saskatchewan, I wrote on there, started slow but finished strong. So, they finished the game
the way champions should.
Yeah,
you would expect.
You have a veteran quarterback. He, didn't start hot, but they made some adjustments, and it proved to be the difference, especially in that the last quarter of the game.
Yeah. And so with all that said, you guys want to move on to the next game because we had Montreal versus Edmonton. Montreal at home. We all picked this game. I think we all picked Montreal to win. Montreal clearly is the class of the league at this point. And seeing Edmonton fall, it was an 18-point loss, but Edmonton is still, they're still well in they're going to the playoffs. It's just a question of, is it going to be the third, the second, or the first place finish? So, Mike?
Yeah, so for Edmonton, it's a tale of two outcomes. So they started flat in the first and the second half. So the first quarter, third quarter, they were terrible. They were outscored collectively 17-0 in the first and third quarter. And then the second quarter, let me see, 14. 31-30. So the second and fourth quarter. So again, when you talk about the game of football, you have to start strong. You have to finish strong. You can't come out flat the first and the second half because you're just digging yourself into a big hole. Cody Fajardo, he played about how he's been playing, 231 yards, 43 rushing, 3 total touchdowns. But I'll tell you, Justin Rankin, I put on there a wanted sign because I don't know where he's been. The first 5 games of the year, he had 513 yards and 6 touchdowns. Right, the last 4 games, he's had 138 yards and 1 touchdown. So, at the beginning of the year, we talked about the balance that Edmonton had, and now it's really becoming one-sided. When you're facing a juggernaut like Montreal, Davis Alexander had 4 touchdowns. I think player of the league was Tyson Philpott, 10 grabs, 131 yards and 3 touchdowns, 481 yards of total offense. You got to, offensively for Edmonton, you got to play more balanced football. And I don't know what's going on with Justin Rankin the last 4 games, but they got to get back to what was working.
No, I agree. He hasn't. I mean, the Justin Rankin we saw start the season is definitely not the one that's wrapping up the second half, the first half of the second half of the first half of the season. Yeah, Dave, thoughts?
7. That's the number of touches Rankin had in the whole game. 7. And I'll put it this. I mean, Montreal's on fire. It's tough to come in there, and this is, if anything has Edmonton to hang their hat on, is they just probably played the toughest 3-game schedule in the CFL this season, playing Saskatchewan twice, home and home, and then going to Montreal. So, you know what? They still put 30 on. They just like the last game we talked about, Saskatchewan probably had this, and a lot of people had this as an upset for Ottawa just because you can't be this up for every game, and they took the foot off the pedal, but they came through, and you just see Edmonton just didn't have, as Mike said, they just didn't come out with that same fire that they had last week and the week before. And it's hard. I mean, Mike can talk about this more than myself. It's hard to have that every single week.
You got to bring the juice, because when you don't, you come out flat, and then you're doing this all game.
Mm-hmm. And going one, like you said, Dave, in the last 3 games they've played, it's the toughest part of their schedule. Playing Saskatchewan twice, Montreal once, and going 1-2 out of that, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think it's the first time Montreal and Edmonton played. For example, Rankin had 179 yards to 62 yards. So they got to get back to what works, the bread and butter, and just the hardest part of their schedule, I think, for now is done. Let's start with getting back to the basics. Find your identity, and then kind of go from there, because it's been rough for them.
Yeah. And then moving on here, we got the final game. We got my British Columbia Lions, 27-24 winners over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A battle of, basically, these are the teams that are battling for that crossover, that either that final playoff spot, really. But BC came out on top. We had Nathan Rourke is back, and they won. So I don't know. I don't even know what to make of this. It's like, okay, great, they won, but they beat Hamilton. I don't know how to really gauge this win as we move forward going into the second half of the season. Dave?
If I play for the BC Lions, I say, we got lucky, let's move on. But no, in also, I mean,
no, it's exactly what I thought too. It's like, okay, let's not make more out of this game than what it is.
Yeah, when you got towards you got towards the end of second half of last week, and you found out Nathan Rourke was playing, everyone's like, in British Columbia, took a sigh of relief, because whoever Hamilton's going to start not going to be anywhere near Nathan Rourke, and Hamilton's defense showed up. They gave BC everything they could handle, and I thought for his very first start, Harrison Frost definitely looked nervous, but he led some nice drives. He kept them in the game, and Hamilton had an opportunity to tie the game on the last play of the game. So you can't ask for anything more than that, especially if you're coming across the country or you're going across to play a team that had the lift of their starting quarterback, league most valuable Canadian, however you want to place it on the bulletin board. BC had everything working for him, and Hamilton took the last play of the game to beat them. So even if you're a Hamilton fan or a Hamilton player, you have to take some solace in the fact that we gave them everything we had, and we almost got it done. And that's cheers to them, because I tell you, when we've been talking about this for 3-4 weeks now since Bo Levi Mitchell went down, someone needs to step up, or it's just they're gonna lose the opportunity.
Yeah, it's just weird to be talking about Hamilton like this, because the way they started out, they were the team to beat in the East, and now they're, I mean, if not for Ottawa, they'd be the worst team in the division. If not, I don't know, man. It's a close second between BC and Hamilton as to who's the second worst team in the league. In a 9-team league, you don't want that distinction either. So okay, well, I mean, it wasn't, as weeks in the CFL go, it wasn't a bad week. Not like some of the great weeks that we've had in the recent past, where you've had real close games. So looking ahead to what we got coming up, we've got, so Thursday night game, we got BC's at Calgary, which I think will be a good game, but it's at Calgary. Ottawa, Winnipeg again. Maybe smell upset.
Is any word on Claros?
I smell upset. I could be wrong though, probably, but I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head here. I'm, more talking out of my ass too. But yeah, I mean, I could see Ottawa winning this game. I don't, but because Winnipeg's 4-4. I mean, this is not the same Winnipeg team that we've seen play in the past. And then we've got Toronto at Edmonton. I fully expect Edmonton to win this game. I think the crowd is going to show up. It's going to be a day game. The weather, I would hope, would be nice. I don't know what the weather is up there now, but hopefully it's, I think also too, the wildfires might factor in if they still got wildfires going on.
Hope it's a good crowd.
Yeah. No, I'm hoping. Yeah, the crowds are coming back to Edmonton, so it just goes to show you it was never about the name change. Despite what people on social media and Facebook and all the old guys are ranting and raving, I'm gonna call them out too. The old white guys ranting and raving about the name change on social media, and then on top of that, you have everybody. You got all the groups about fire the CFL commissioner about the rule changes. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's getting old now with these guys. It's like, dudes, shut up.
Speaking of rule changes, you haven't heard too much about the 55-yard line in the last month.
No.
Like nothing.
No. I mean, knock on wood. Hopefully they're gonna keep the field as is. I mean,
Greg, we do have a couple questions in the chat.
Yes. And actually, the gentleman who is asking the questions is a good friend of mine, Mr. Parker Benningfield. Parker, we're going to talk about Parker. Yeah, I've been actually, as we've been doing, I've been texting with Parker too. But anyway, just give you a heads up about Parker. Parker is he's a film major, and earlier this year he did a great documentary called Gridiron Guyan about professional football in Japan, which I was happy to be a part of that documentary. Prior to, unfortunately, Gridiron Japan, has gone away, but I still hold the rights and the name and everything to it. But Parker did a great student film, came over with his folks, was on the field at the Rice Bowl and did a great student documentary on the X League. So, and Parker, to answer your question here about the upcoming X League fall season, we're going to get into that probably next episode. But here's what I know. Here's what I can do. This is just my gut telling me, and from looking at everything, Obix. I think Obix is going to be the team to beat this year in the X League. You've had some movement in the X League with recent roster changes, and we had. Let me go back to. So you've had Elecom. Elecom just signed a new quarterback. David Pindell is leaving the team. Correct, Dave? Yep. And so I don't know what the situation there is other than what I've seen in the news reports. And then also, too, you've had IBM Big Blue has signed former Arizona Cardinal tight end Bernard. Oh, geez, I can't even. I would butcher this guy's name. Sekovitz, Bernard Sekovitz, but he used to play with Arizona. So I don't know much about him. And the thing is with the X League, because of the way the league changed their dynamic this year. So you started all the games in the spring count towards the entire league. I haven't followed it as much since we put Gridiron Japan to rest, but we'll be definitely talking more X League as we go along. Mike, your thoughts about the upcoming X League? How close have you been following it?
So it's weird because I'm used to this being more so like a preseason, if you will. So
yeah,
it's weird that the games now are counting, then they're taking a break and they're resuming in the autumn. Definitely the situation with Elecom is interesting. I don't know if David's going to end up back in Japan or if he's coming to the States or in Europe. So definitely going to be interesting where he goes. I think you still have your usual suspects at the top.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got Fujitsu, you got Panasonic. I'm pulling up the standing. I'm trying to pull up the standings right now. So give me a second here. Let's see. Let me pull up the win-loss records. All right. So for those who are listening, don't know much about the X League. They play every other week during the fall. It's a good deal if you're a professional football player playing over here because your body doesn't take that much of a pounding on a weekly basis. You get extra. I mean, you get rest. Case in point, BJ Beatty. BJ and I are great friends. He told me on the podcast, said if it weren't for Japan, his physically, he's in much better shape having played professional football in Japan because his body did not take the weekly beating in, say, like a 17-game NFL schedule. So, all right. So this year with X League Premier, this is the new thing with the X League. Instead of it was X League Super, then X League Area. Well, the big league, the Premier League, for lack, they're apparently stealing from the British. We've got 11 teams in the Premier League, and in order to get into the Premier League, these teams had to shell out money to the league to be in the Premier League. So that's why we only have 11. There was a 12th team that was not able to make that cut. So we have the Obix Seagulls right now are undefeated 4-0, followed up by Fujitsu and Elecom, who are both 3-1. Panasonic, oddly, the defending champs, is 2-2. And then you have Fujifilm Minerva, IBM Big Blue at 2-1. And then bringing up the rear, we've got the Rise, the Creators are 1-3, the Mitsubishi Lions, the Challengers, and Silver Star. So Lions are 1-2, Challengers are 0-3, which I find strange.
Wow.
Yeah. Boogie Knight plays for the Challengers, and I mean he's Japan's Fred Blitnikoff for lack of a better term. I mean all he does is catch the ball. I mean it's an amazing receiver. And then the Silver Star are 0-3. Yeah. So
Fred had a lot of stickum on his hands towards the end.
well, that's true. That's true. But you know the way yeah. But would Fred Biletnikoff caught as many passes without the stickum but with the gloves? That's the question. If they would have had that technology back in the 70s.
They were all. I mean, it's hard to say. They're all doing it. I mean,
yeah.
Then the defenders were too. So it wasn't like it was just the receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, But we had there's a couple other questions by Parker's dropped in a few more.
You know what? Pop them up here. Can you pop them up on the screen?
I can't. But he's also asked is our thoughts on Diego Pavia in the CFL. That was his first question earlier.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have thoughts.
I think the CFL already said, or no, that was Sorsby. Never mind.
They said no to Sorsby at all.
I think Diego. I think for Diego, it's a pride thing. If he can swallow his own pride and accept that he's not an NFL quarterback, I think there's a lot of opportunity. Whether it be the CFL, the UFL, hell, even some of these arena teams we talked about. I think he has a football future. But does he want to play outside of the NFL? So I think that really comes down to him swallowing his pride.
Right. And then also, too, we had with Parker. Because Parker follows – he's a hardcore X-League guy, follows the league from where he's at over on the East Coast there with you guys pretty strongly. So he also added Big Blue made some crazy additions. Reese Horn also got picked up by IBM.
Yeah, and they also got, if I remember right, AJ Whitland. Hope I didn't butcher his name.
Yeah, you got it. You got it, AJ. Yeah,
top tackler in the European League of Football for the last 3 years.
Dude, he is huge.
Yeah,
he's like Dolph Lundgren.
He's a big guy. I watched him on.
Yeah.
He's very athletic.
Yes. Yeah. It was. I remember when he came and we were talking about it, it's like, holy, showing the pictures. Amazing. So, and we will be having Parker, if you're out there still watching, you want to come on the show and talk X League, we will definitely bring you on to have you sit in the fourth chair in the booth here to talk all things X League. And him and I, him and I go, I wouldn't say way back. We're talking at the beginning of the year, but again, he's a filmmaker and he's got a lot going on. He's got a bright future in sports media and doing the type of stuff that, Dave, Mike, you and I both love NFL films. So he's definitely got the heart of Steve Sable when it comes to filmmaking. So we will definitely be having Parker on to talk X League and even more things. More football as we go along here. Let's see.
No, Greg.
You just replied. Yeah, bro, for sure. That'd be dope. Nice.
Quick question for both of you.
Yeah.
Because we touched upon it, and I think the Diego Pavia is a great time to bring it up on here. What do you think the future holds with as NIL keeps getting greater and greater?
Yeah.
And the paychecks in non-NFL teams will never reach the level of the NIL payments. How do you feel moving forward the level of play or the level of athletes willing to go to the CFL, go to arena football? When Mike I think it's a great line with Pavia swallowing his pride, and he's taking a 90% pay cut to go play in the CFL compared to what he made his last season in college.
Well, my thought is there's only so many roster spots, and you can only play. You can't play forever in college, so you got to go somewhere if you want to. The CFL and the UFL have always been where the guys that don't make the NFL go. So, I don't know if it's, there's room for the UFL and the CFL and the X League. But again, it goes to what you said, man. They're not going to get paid the money they got paid in college. at all.
If 4 years of college, you walk away at $15 to $20 million. There needs to be a real sense of love of football to keep doing it, because what you just walked away with is gonna, it's still life-changing money.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, football players love to play the game, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I
go
think you're
ahead, Mike.
seeing. I think you're seeing a lot of that right now. So, there the center for Texas who went to Cleveland. You're starting to see that a lot because now the NCAA is getting rid of the redshirt rule. Every player is just entitled to 5 years of eligibility. You're seeing a lot of guys challenging the NCAA. They're going back. I know the center that was for Texas down to Cleveland. He just got allowed, so he's going to join. Even though he's been in training camp and OTAs. He's going back to college. He's going to be the starting center at Texas. And you're seeing, to your guys' point, a lot of these guys that made so much money in college. There was a third rounder the other day I seen. He retired from football as soon as he was drafted. Because again, he's not going to make that type of money in the league as he did in college. Regarding the other leagues and all the talent, you can ask any little league football player, what do they want to be when they grow up? More times than not, they're going to say they want to play they want to go play in the NFL. Zero of those kids are going to say, well, when I grow up, I want to play in the CFL, or when I grow up, I want to play in the UFL. So a lot of that mentality is NFL or bust. And then they go to the colleges, then they go, well, if I'm not playing league, then I'm not going to play. And that's unfortunate because there's so much untapped talent. I'm not, a big DJ guy with the UFL, but one of the things that he had mentioned a lot was player 53. There's the difference between player 54. It's the difference between player 54 and player 53. A lot of times it's just reps. So if you can, again, not to beat a dead horse, but if you can swallow your pride, go develop in the UFL, Canada, overseas, wherever it might be, get those repetitions, get that experience.
Yeah,
that can be all the difference. You're seeing there's a player for the Rhine Fire. He just left the team because now he's playing for Ottawa, the Red Blacks. So again, the difference is those repetitions.
Yeah. And then also too, Mike, you hit upon it. We've also got the international aspect of the game too, and bringing international players in from Europe, and hopefully, we've had a smattering of guys from Japan go to the CFL. There's a lot of there are more football players than there are spots for football players on pro teams. So I don't think you're going to have but yeah, no, NIL changes just everything, and we don't know. Can you imagine what college football is going to look like? Even in 2 years?
If they don't regulate it, it's going to be the Wild West.
It's the Wild West now, and now, the college football is a professional league, period. And we still, at least I think a lot of us, and maybe it's just because like me, I'm older, and maybe Dave, but we still think of college football the way we always did. Well, it's college football, even though you got NIL. It's like, no, it's the second professional football league in North America. Dave, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We just had to accept it now. It was the Wild West before, but
right.
it was
all under the table.
It was under the tables, behind closed doors, and maybe 20 teams were subduing the system as best they can to get everybody. And now you can do, and you can do it legally, and you're not going to get caught because you don't have anybody talking ratting out on Alabama or any other teams who are doing it successfully. Now what's happening is now it's out in the open, and now people are becoming jealous because the players are getting the money now as we see it, when before it was cars for mom, it was cars for dad, it was jobs, it was things that we didn't see every day, but we're still going, but that were still happening. And now, before, the coaches were able to control who got what, when, and how, and now they don't have that, and they're the ones trumpeting the "we can't do this" when they had no problem when they controlled who got what, when, and how. But now that they don't have that control, we shake our fist at the NCAA for not doing a better job. But
Right.
college football created this problem because they didn't want to have the NCAA to be powerful. And now that there is no rules, because we have to remember there weren't rules before.
There were never rules to begin with.
So now that we can't, now that a lot of people are feeling upset that people are getting all this money, and now all of a sudden now it feels like it's not college football anymore.
Right.
Though it was never college football in the past generation. Yeah. Now we're trying to figure out ways to whoa, slow this down. We can't be giving all this money to all these people. We can't do this. We have to figure out the best way to do it and make sure there's control by the administration, which is how the old system was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the last thing we need is to get Congress involved, which they get puttering around trying to figure out some ways of how they're going to get a cut of it themselves.
Yeah.
But it's always funny to see, and I'm going to use this example, Tommy Tuberville talk about having to have rules for college football. Like it's comical to listen to him talk about how we need to have this in place for the betterment of the players and their families. It's comical.
Yeah. It's, Tommy Tuberville, the voice of reason. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation we're not having. But I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the perfect example. It's like we're going back to how the system wants to control it when it's gotten out of hand because we didn't want to.
Yeah. So, all right. So, yeah, we got college football season coming up. So that'd be, there's so much football to talk about in like an hour and a half show. We're cramming it all in here.
Another, and I'm not trying to put another great question by Parker. I dropped that up.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Pop it. Oh, which one?
I can't.
The one that just came in.
The last one just came in.
All right. So what's this one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I don't know how to organize it at all. I mean, I don't know. Nobody. But is that going to solve? I mean, I don't know.
Here is my, and this is why it's such a hard question. Here's my player side action to a salary cap. We basically that's what we've had all along.
Yeah.
We can the teams, Alabama could give as much money as they wanted to all these years behind closed doors, but at some point, and this is like we're not solving this tonight. It's not snapping your fingers. But the question I still have with all of this is we all have to come to understanding that this isn't about college athletics. This isn't about getting education. This has nothing to do other than this is being paid to play a sport at college. Right. Now, I'm not saying a salary cap can't work, but I view it the same way as I do in professional sports. There is a revenue bucket that the colleges, the NCAA is receiving, being paid out in rights fees and all this stuff. How do we make sure that the players or the people who are creating this wealth gets a fair share of it? And that's the question: is what is a fair share?
Yeah.
But if you're going to have, say, it's $20 million per team, say that's a magic number, and there's 100 teams. Okay, we're at $2 billion. Right off the bat, that's a percentage of what the NCAA is making. Like it's just one of those things where we're never going to come to a good number. So we call it the Wild Wild West,
right?
But I look at it as the market will support as long as it can. And there will always be the ones who have, there will always be the ones that have not. And even if we put in a system of, say, $30 million per team per season,
Yeah.
Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame, they will all find ways to get around it. CFL, easiest way, they have a marketing budget that they can use money set aside for marketing the team to give it as bonuses to players to circumvent the cap they put in place to level the field. So that's my soapbox. I'm gonna step off it now, but it's a very interesting topic to me.
Yeah, and a great example that, Ohio State was going after the nation's best running back. They offered him $2.5 million, and he elected to go to University of Tennessee because they're offering him $3 million a year. So that's a lot of money for these kids. The other side of that is it's frustrating. If I'm a left tackle, why is my NIL valuation $85,000, but my quarterback's $4 million?
Yeah. It's just amazing.
But that's no different than the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen makes $50 million and his left tackle might make $8 million. But without that $8 million tackle, Josh Allen wouldn't be getting that money.
Right.
Exactly
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and this popped in my head.
I'm
sorry.
Okay.
You got me going on this now. The last thing is, and this is, we can talk about, this is an area that I don't think is addressed enough in this whole thing. So we have NIL. We want to cap it. We want to figure out a plan. Okay. So how does, when you want to fire your coach and you have your boosters make some calls and all of a sudden you have $95 million to buy out that coach? Like that is something, once again, we're not talking about, because you know where that $95 million has been going all those years? To the players' parents and families, like that, or to the coach. It's funny to me. We always talk about the revenues that impact the players and not impact the whole system. Yeah. The players are the ones always nitpicked upon that. Just like in professional sports, this player's not worth this much.
Right. And as we're talking about this at the same time, you've got colleges that are closing. You've got, layoffs. I mean, the enrollment in colleges is declining now. So it's just people forget. I mean, college football is not college football. Maybe at the lower divisions, Parker played college football and your Division I, not Division I, but your Division II, your Division III, your NAIA, and the teams that and the schools that I still call Division I AA. I mean, those types of schools are all losing students enrollment. I mean, they ain't got a lot of money. And the kids that play there play for the love of the game. University of Chicago's case in point. I mean, you still got college football the way it was meant to be played. The way God meant it to be played, for free. But the reality is your Big Ten schools and your SEC, ACC, and some of the other ones are just glorified professional teams at this point. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So we'll have another conversation on this as we go along, and because it seems like every week there's a new news story comes out about college football, and I mean, yeah. So to wrap, we'll segue to the next part here as we wrap things up about what the hell is going on in Buffalo, Dave. What the hell is going on in Buffalo with the new stadium and those god-awful uniforms?
Batman uniforms.
Yeah. Batman had a better uniform. Batman had a much cooler uniform, and it had more function. What the hell Buffalo's wearing for that their new alternate? You got me.
I think Bruce Wayne's got a bigger TV than the stadium scoreboard.
That's true. Yeah, that new scoreboard is not made by Wayne Tech.
No, it is not. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the jerseys. I think I said that last week. It seems like it's gotten a little traction. The comments overall, when you put it in the stadium with the green grass, they look better than a graphic. Now, whatever that means, the final determination will be sales, how many they sell, and if they sell a lot of them, it's going to be around, and that's how it works. Like the worst logo in sports, if they're making a killing on the shop side, they will keep printing that out and going, ha ha, thank you.
Yeah,
but I was not a fan. The gray is different, but the team 60 plus years as red, white, and blue. I understand what they did. I didn't think it was necessary at this time, especially moving into the new stadium.
Yeah.
Now we can.
It's just for me. It's just all about aesthetics.
Yeah, we can transition into that topic if you like to say so. If you like to do that now. But,
which one? The new stadium?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's segue to the new stadium because that's the bigger issue. Football fashion, to me, is very, very important. But, when it comes to being able paying for a ticket, paying a whole lot of money for a ticket that you can only see part of the field, that's a whole nother issue.
It is, and it's a two-parter. And like we talked about before we started the live stream, there is each one of these cases will obviously be looked at, discussed with the team, and a solution will be had before the next real game, which takes place. I know preseason's coming up, and then the regular season I think is September 16th. But if the Bills did send out pictures, like what I've heard is that when you picked your seats or you had your seats, you got to see a picture of what your view is going to be. Right. Now, there's been some back and forth on what exactly the pictures showed. Now, that's something that obviously the national media picked up on the same 10 or 15 pictures that have been floating around all over the place. And it's a national story because 350 million people in this country, nothing more than a good internet argument.
Right.
Or a good, like when they try and publicly shame something, that is like that car accident when you drive by, you can't take your eyes off of. Mm-hmm. So we'll see when it all turns out, because I don't see the Buffalo Bills being the type of organization that will send out the glass one where you see the big rectangle at the top of the stairs. I don't see the Buffalo Bills sending out a picture like, this is the picture we sent them.
Right.
And they just didn't look at it. Like, I don't see the Bills.
They're not going to blame the fan.
No, they're just going to eat it and they're going to move on and just look and just take this bad publicity. But I will be curious along the way to see where this situation happened, because to be honest, I'm glad it happened for this type of event, but in hindsight, I think the Bills should have done an event prior to this where you can walk around.
Well, yeah, you would have thought that there would have been a human element involved, checking the seats, going, oh shit, we got to take this seat away.
Yeah,
you can't see anything.
Yeah, 30 years ago,
completely fixable.
Yeah, 30 years ago, I was part of an organization. We opened up a 10,400 seat stadium. I sat in every seat. I walked every seat and sat in it to make sure we had no problems, because we sold out the first game. And when you sell out, you have nowhere to move somebody. Right. So you can't wait till they get there to say, oh, that's not working for you. Let me move you over here.
Yeah.
So, now granted, it's 50,000 seats, but they're also sold out for the season. So their ticket staff of 25 had plenty of time to address this. And that, I think that's what is frustrating more to me than anything in this whole situation. It just seems like something as easily foreseeable or an action could have taken place to alleviate some of what took place to that create a national story about this that honestly shouldn't really not, it's not necessary.
Yeah. Mike, thoughts?
Listen, when you can go to Mexico, Brazil, Australia, Germany, England, Japan, and sell out, that's the power of the Shield. And it's no different in Buffalo. Regardless of those issues, they're going to sell out. They're going to keep making more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of the beast with the league. So, it is unfortunate, if you're in a obstructed view, but if you don't want your seat, it's just like Lambeau. If you don't want your seat, somebody else will gladly take it.
And in this day and age too, let's keep in mind, if you're buying a ticket to a Buffalo game, you can actually see the seat. You can, which seat. It's not like, living in Chicago, and I have spent many a game at Wrigley Field behind obstructed view. I'm like, okay, well, and I remember one time I literally had the pole right in front of me. I was like this the entire game. So I don't know. I think Dave, I agree with you. The story will go away. They'll make adjustments, but it was a bad look, obviously, but you would have thought the Bills would have known that was going to happen. Somebody would have thought, yeah, this is going to get out. This is going to be a big deal for about a day. So I don't know, but anyway, stadium looked nice, and you got on top of that, you got Highmark opening up. Highmark reminds me of what's going on at Northwestern with their new field too. They kind of look very much the same. So I doubt if all.
With the big awning that covers the seats.
Yeah. No, I mean so now the stadiums are getting smaller, which kind of makes me wonder, because we haven't really heard much coming out of Chicago about the Bears Stadium situation. So I would expect news about the Bears and Hammond, because I still think the Bears are going to Indiana, because I just can't see Illinois getting its act together to come up with a plan, especially during an election year and the way things are in Illinois. Property taxes are high, but fortunately for the state, Illinois was about ready to go bankrupt, and with going into politics and everything, in the last 8 years, they've stabilized their finances. But I'm expecting the Bears to go. I mean, I just can't see Illinois getting on board spending taxpayer money for a Bears stadium at this point. But who knows? I mean, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So before we wrap everything up, man, any final thoughts here before we got to do our picks too before?
I'll give you my thoughts. The Colts will block the move, and they will stay in Illinois.
Nah, the Colts won't block the move.
We're gonna see some Mayflower buses overnight. Just go right into Illinois or Indiana.
I could see the Irsay family wanting cash to come into their market.
I don't know.
It's the NFL, where you're only as good as until you make your next billion.
Yeah, I don't know. Goodell really wants this to happen sooner rather than later. So I don't know. And
with
plus, there are no Colts
coming.
There are no Colts.
There's no announcement before 2027. It's not there with the midterms coming. Yeah. You're not going to hear a word until next year.
Yeah, I don't know. And but see, the thing is, there are no Colts fans up in Northwest Indiana. It's all Bears fans. So that's it. So, all right. Hey, before we wrap everything up here, let's talk about next week's game. So we got Calgary versus BC going around the room. I'll pick last here. What do you guys think?
I'll go Calgary.
Calgary. BC's they've got a lot to work on. Even with Nathan Rourke back, they've got a lot of holes that need filled.
Yep, same thing. I'll go with Calgary too. Winnipeg, Ottawa. I think I'm going with Ottawa. I'm gonna pick the upset for this one. I think though it's a weak pick, but that's just my thought. What about you guys?
I'm going to go Winnipeg.
Oh, you're gonna go Winnipeg, Mike?
Do we know the status of Winnipeg's quarterback?
Not off the top of my head.
I've not heard anything about Claris.
No.
I think even without Caleris, I think Ottawa is going to keep that O in their name, and they're going to be 0-9.
Okay, got it. Ottawa. And then we got Toronto at Edmonton. You guys, what do you think?
I think it's hard for Edmonton to drop another one. I want to have to go with Edmonton.
Okay.
Same here. As much as I think Toronto's playing much improved, I think Edmonton coming home in that stadium, I think it's too much. I think Edmonton's going to get Rankin going, and you're gonna see a 450, 500-yard day from Edmonton. I think they're gonna right the ship against the Argos.
Okay. And then we've got and then you know what? I'm gonna go with Toronto. I want to see Edmonton succeed, but I'm just thinking Toronto's gonna play a better game. And then finally we got Saskatchewan at Hamilton. You guys, thoughts?
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And the thing is, when the NFL season kicks off, we're not doing NFL picks because there's just too many damn games. Stick with the CFL picks. Stick with the CFL because I haven't quite figured out how we're going to do this show when we're talking about 41 professional football teams playing at the same time. So but I'm thinking, we're not doing NFL picks, but we could do our favorite teams.
No, I did have I'm sorry, Greg.
Oh, go ahead, man.
I did have a note. One of the things I marked for the Hamilton BC game, Hamilton, they're struggling to find their offensive dynamic. And when they got shut out in the third quarter, I think that was a great example of that. So between Harrison Frost and Trey Ford, they're a hot mess right now. So I don't see anything going in their favor this week.
Yeah. No, once Bo got hurt, man, the wheels fell off the car. So, all right. So with all that said, for everybody who's listening, who stuck around, I don't know, I don't see anybody who is stuck around, unfortunately, for the live stream. But this is coming on very late at night over there in the States, if not, a couple hours, at least an hour before midnight over there, at least on the East Coast. But hey, if you stuck around this long on the video or even the podcast, hey, please check out our website at gridironamerica.net, and you can find us on all social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. Our Facebook page got a boost on followers this past week, so that was nice. But we need more. We need to get to 100 followers on the Facebook page. But you can find a link to the Facebook page on the website, or just type in, Gridiron America on Facebook. That should get you right there. But yeah, slowly but surely we're growing. And but with all that said, hey, thanks a lot for tuning in, and we will be back next week. I don't know what our topic's going to be. Obviously, we'll be talking CFL. Hopefully, we'll have a guest on. I've got a couple guys, including Parker, that are on deck to come on the show. Hopefully Zach Kyleman will also be able to join us here within the month too. And also too, I've got an interview that I'm going to be doing at some point. It's not going to be a live one. It's be a pre-recorded one, sitting down with Joe Zimba, who just wrote a great book. He's on the Sports History Network with us as well, but he's got a new book coming out about Mats Tonelli, former Chicago Cardinal football player who was also a POW during World War II, and his story. And it's a fascinating story. Do you guys know the story about Montanelli, Dave, Mike?
I do not.
No.
Okay. Long story short, like I said, covered it. Former Chicago Cardinal, was POW during the war, and the story involves of him surviving World War II. Also involves his Notre Dame class ring. So it's a great story, and I've heard it told. Joe tell it many times at his presentations in Chicago, and just like I said, he's got a book that just came out. I have not read it yet, but I'm going to be, hopefully that's going to be my next one that I read here soon. So, but again, Joe is host When Football is Football here on the Sports History Network. So with all that said, hey, thanks a lot for everybody who's listening, watching, and we will be talking to you again next week. Bye-bye.